Welcome to the last day, day number 5. Wow, yesterday was intense for me, just sharing it and seeing everything going on with you guys. And that was a big one. Forgive and let go is probably the biggest thing that's happened to me and in my life and my story and my mother. And it's very personal. Forgive and let go is powerful. But today we're going to close with what's really, really the best part of it all and the biggest hack to everything, which is trust, right? So for moms, it's trust that you are a loving mother. But I want you to think about, you've probably been stuck fighting with your boyfriend or your husband or maybe your parents, right? As soon as you trust that the other person, that your husband loves you or your boyfriend loves you, you don't fight because it's all about the insecurity levels going up and down. So when you just think about that and notice that when you're fighting, it's because you want proof that he loves you if it's a partner. Uh, I just want to show that example because as soon as you trust that he loves you, you stop fighting with him. You see all these symbols after you've made love. You see all these things. Oh, he doesn't love me. If he loved me enough, he would clear the table. He would do this. He would do that. Okay? And when you trust that he loves you, you stop fighting. So thinking about that, when you trust that you're a loving mother, you're going to forgive and let go really fast. When you trust that you are a loving mother, you're going to stop blaming yourself, right? So just hone in to trusting that you are a loving mother because that's the answer to everything. I could have started this whole thing by just saying that. But really trust, right? So think about the word trust. It's also related to faith. But trust, for me, it's more of a choice that you make because Kung Fu Panda, right? The past is history, the future is mystery. Now is a gift. We don't know what's going to happen in the future, and the past is gone. But what's going to happen in the future is based on trust today, right? It's a choice today. And trust is a choice that we simply take because we don't know anything. We don't have any evidence, right? So it's not about, you're looking at all these evidence and you base a decision on, but you trust without the evidence, okay? It's without the evidence. So again, in a relationship, we don't know if he's going to cheat on us or we're going to cheat or whatever. We just trust to enjoy this present moment. We trust. And it's all, again, about fear, like putting this thing on the timeline. But we are only here right now. And to get the best out of right now, we can just trust and trust that you are a loving mother. Nobody is saying you're not. And that's why you can always choose this, right? Nobody other than ourselves judge ourselves. And you have all your powers. The love that we feel as mothers and your authentic self is that you're a loving woman. So we scream, we shout, we lose it. We act completely different than a loving mother or a loving wife. God knows I've acted different so many times. The only reason I got so angry at my husband was because he stood in the way of me being the loving wife or the loving woman that I know I am. That's what ticked me off, right? So it all starts from the fact that we're a loving soul, a loving mother, a loving wife, a loving woman, and a loving leader. And then we show up as the exact opposite because we're not true to ourselves and because we don't trust that we are a loving mother or a loving wife, right? So it all comes down to that one fact. So don't ever tell yourself the story that you are this mean ass at work or you're just this angry woman or you're just this and that. You're a loving mother. Sometimes you show up. Sometimes we show up as not, but it doesn't change our core. All our powers are here. That's why we give away our powers when we lash out, right? We're not our authentic self. We just power gone. The only way to take that power back is 2 things: trust and honesty, right? Trust and honesty. I failed. I did these horrible things. You got to trust and be open about it and share it. And then you're back to being a loving mother. If you are dishonest about it, if you're too ashamed to share it, and you don't have to blurt it out to the whole world like I did, but the quickest way to get back to the loving connection with your kids is to own it in front of them. Just admit it and move on. It can be small things like, mommy shouted, I shouldn't have, let's move on. Just trust that if you're blaming yourself and judging yourself in that moment, you're going to be dishonest about something. There's something that you're not wanting to admit or acknowledge, and that stands in the way of the connection. And that's when you trust, you're like, it's okay. And I can be honest about my mistakes because I know I'm a loving wife or a loving mother. I can be honest. I have that trust in myself. Like when you know that you did nothing wrong, people can come with all these accusations, but you trust, right? They don't stick to you. You don't have to defend yourself. It's the same with you and your kids. when you trust yourself and you know that you're a loving mother and you can't do anything wrong because your first job is just to love them. And when you are a loving mother, you've done all you could. Doesn't matter any external factors, any practicalities, any symbols, anything you did or they did can't contradict that fact, because your job is just to love them. You know that, and you know that you're a loving mother. So we get doubts and insecurities all the time. We do. I mean, that's why we get these feeling of shame, blame, and guilt, because we doubt, why am I losing my shit all the time? Why am I doing this? Oh my God, it's not the true you, right? So just trust in that fact that God created you as a loving soul. That's your truth, your honesty. No matter how little you see that in your actions, that's still your truth and your soul, right? So it doesn't matter. Any actions is not who you are. Who you are is a loving woman. That's who you are. No matter what you do or have done. I know my mom is the most loving soul in the world, and she freaked out like nobody, and she couldn't forgive herself. But I know that she's a loving. I know we're the same, right? So just trust that and get into that, and just be that, because you are. And whenever you get away from it, it's okay. So the hack is the same as when you're fighting with your husband. The hack to getting back to connection with your kids is just to trust it. So I want you to do this today. Your homework is to practice trusting. So let me know every time you have a breakdown, your go-to is to practice trusting. I am a loving mother. I give my powers away. When I get triggered, I lash out. It's just because I get insecure, the pressure, the things. It's all insecurity going up and down. And it does. But as soon as I trust that I'm a loving mother, it goes away. It evaporates, right? Like you get back to connection in an instant when you trust. And the trust that you should focus on is that you're a loving mother, because that's the only job you have. Then everything else is okay. And it doesn't matter what other people think. It really doesn't matter if they get to school on time. I know you made this story up that it does. It doesn't matter if they're dirty clothes. It doesn't matter if they have a boogie out their nose. None of these things matter. It doesn't matter if the dad does this and that, the other. It doesn't matter if they have the raincoat. We feel really guilty. And you're that, they're going to judge me as a bad mom. All of that really doesn't matter when you do your job, the first thing and only thing, which is just to love them. Okay? So it's been an amazing journey to be on you for these 5 days. Keep reaching out, keep sharing in the group your wins, your breakdowns, and let me know how it goes with whenever something happens, you go to this day number 5, trust. You are a loving mother, because I know you are. No matter what you do or say, that's who you are. And you got to trust that yourself. You get to choose to trust that. You get to get insecure and get back to choosing to trust it. Practice. So let me know when you're doubtful, and then how you go back to choosing to trust that. Trust is a choice. Just take it. Okay, that's it. Bye.